Welcome back to the That's Rank podcast, the podcast where we rank your ideas on the fly. My name is Liam.
My name is Rob.
And we are joined by a very special guest tonight, award-winning photographer, Mr. Matt. How you doing, Matt?
Sorry. I was a bit like, and I'm Taryn, but no, it's
Well, look, very good reason Mr. Matt's here tonight, being a little guest ranker for us. And that's because Miss Taryn is over setting herself up in Germany right now, the lucky devil. So Matt is very kindly asked or offered to step in.
begged.
We made him grovel for months, actually.
For months, he's been like, get me on. And here we are. We're on. Avid listener. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. But now, Matt, what do you do? Tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
All right.
On the spot.
Oh, shit. I do a mixture of working in the film industry with cameras, and then when I'm not working with cameras in the film industry, I take photos.
So more film.
More film, camera-related stuff.
Film all the time.
All cameras all the time. And then if I'm not doing that, I'm probably binge watching TV shows. So it's like a vicious circle.
Drinking tea.
Well, now, Matt, this podcast, I mean, Rob, what do we do here? What do we do on this lovely podcast of ours?
Well, Matt, it's good to have you here because we rank things. And this is a podcast of ranking. That's why it's called That's Rank. And every week we spin a wheel, get a subject, and we rank on the fly by each picking our favorite or worst thing of that subject. And then we battle it out and come to a unanimous 1, 2, and 3.
100%.
Through a battle of the death, which isn't that death related, but you know.
To the death. No, but it sounds good when we say to the death, though, still every single time.
That's true.
It's not. It's usually a very lovely conversation, but we say to the death just to give it some, bit
that I'm here.
Exactly right. Now, it might be, Matt, because we go back. We all go back a little way, so it might get a little bit more feisty.
Bit heated.
That's true. That's true. And now, we can't kill literally our regular rankers, but a guest ranker,
Yeah. Fair game.
It can be bad in one episode.
Fair game.
It's like the menu. Matt, it's like the menu with Ralph Fiennes.
Matt, you're here.
I was about to say Matt Damon in Interstellar, but
we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that movie.
Sorry.
We don't talk about that movie. Horrible. So
I was really excited. I took Liam to see Interstellar, and I'm just going to cut in now, Liam. I took Liam
to see Interstellar, and I was
like, I want him to share this experience. It's on the big screen because I love it so much. And Liam did not like Interstellar. Controversial opinion.
I saw it 3 times at the movies.
Yeah, look.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's okay. We can like different things. It's okay. We'll all be okay. Although I did think Rob was going to hit me after I said I didn't like it too much, but that's okay. It's okay.
I was not going to hit you.
No, I know you would. You would never do such a thing. Now, Matt, we say on the fly. Now, you're an avid listener. You've listened to all, I'm going to say all of our episodes. I don't know that for sure. But the fact is a fact if I say it. At least 3, that's plenty. That's a good sample size. So you know what on the fly means. What does that mean to you? Because you're here. You're joining us. So on the fly, what does that mean
on the fly? I mean, no research done beforehand.
No.
It's just topic is brought up. It's going to be brought up soon. We're going to spin that wheel. And then I have to come up with a rank as you two do as well.
Are you feeling confident? You feeling ready?
I was born ready.
Love that confidence. And before we get to that, we need to do some shout outs. Rob, we need some ideas for the wheel. How do people get in touch?
People can reach us, Liam, through thatsrankpod at Gmail, at Twitter, at Instagram, at Facebook, and at YouTubes. Get on it. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, comment. 5 stars.
Always 5 stars. Always give it a thumbs up. Give it a like.
Yep.
But also, we always say it is on the fly, so we're gonna get it wrong sometimes, and that's okay. You let us know exactly what you think should have won this rank. If it's not something we said, tell us we're wrong.
You're wrong.
Or even better, tell us we're right. Well, that's my favorite. Personally, that's my favorite type of feedback. But you can also tell us when we're wrong. It's fine.
Yeah. You can't tell Matt he's wrong though, because he's our guest, and you have to be nice to Matt.
Oh no. I mean, constructive criticism. Yeah. Next time I come back, I'll be like, I'm gonna make this better.
You're onto it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, 5 minutes each. That's how long we get to convince the others as to why ours should win. today's rank. We'll get to that in a second. But the first thing we need is a topic. So I'm going to walk over here.
Sorry.
So to commentate what's going on here, Liam's microphone.
Now.
Oh, he's spinning the wheel.
He's doing the old wheel spin. Hey!
Happens every week. At some point, I'm waiting for him to bring the wheel closer to the microphone, but
It changes all the time.
what number is that? What number is
it?
Is my screen too bright?
It's a number 15.
Number 15.
1-5. It's a 1-5.
Oh.
Can't.
And true to form, I have not got the list up and ready to go. No,
How do we say 15 in Japanese, though?
Jugo.
Jugo.
Jugo. How do you say it in Laotian?
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
No. Hold on. No song sam si. What's 5? Oh my god.
Watching Rob sweat on the Lao language right now.
Sipchet.
Sipchet. That's amazing.
God,
And,
it's amazing what you forget.
That's right. Well, Matt's going to tell us what it is in Russian now. What's 15 in Russian, Matt?
Niet.
Niet. Well, number 15 is a very interesting one sent in to us by listener M. And she has asked us to rank the best hostel experiences. The best hostel experiences. You both give me blank stares. Matt's looking off into the distance.
Wistfully.
How you feeling about wistfully? How you feeling about that? Hostel experience. Are you guys both avid hosteliers?
I have been known to hostel.
Once or twice, Rob?
Yeah. But this is the thing about hostel experiences. And I'm currently thinking about many bad experiences in a hostel.
Okay.
like the time I had my iPod stolen, the time someone was masturbating in the bed in the bunk.
Sorry about that. I won't do it again.
The time this French guy blocked the toilet in China in Xi'an, and I was like, oh man, it was disgusting.
As in, he was just in the doorway going, "You cannot get in my toilet." No.
As in, I don't need to provide detail. I don't need to provide detailed description. But this is the thing. Right? So you go to the hostel in order to afford traveling. Because without the hostel, many of my trips would not have been financially possible. So A, it makes the trip possible.
Mm-hmm.
B, sure, you lose a little bit of privacy, but you often meet people. As I've just touched on, some of those people, maybe not the best, but for the most part, you meet lots of good people and you party with those people. You have fun with those people. You have mind-opening conversations.
Why don't you just name every single good thing about the hostel experience, my friends?
Isn't that what you asked me?
No.
What was the question?
Have you stayed at hostels before?
No, but it's the best hostel. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So I was thinking...
And then you said I've got so many bad ones. I've got so many bad ones, and then immediately jumped to the good one.
I see what I did now. Because I was thinking about specific hostel experiences, whereas you're right, you could go more general. I apologize, fellas. Like I said...
You were thinking like a specific...
including me.
No, it's true. So you're thinking maybe it's like a specific experience, per se.
I think that's where I'm going to go.
Okay, fair enough.
A specific memory.
And this is the good thing about the That's Rank podcast. You can take this however you want. You can take the topic however you want. Where's your mind going, Matt?
Does it need to be like within the confines of the hostel you're staying at, or out of like the location of where the hostel was? Or
do you know what, Matt? Do you know what? I'm not going to answer that question. Do you know why? I'm going to let you explore that as part of your 5 minutes, because it might be something to do with maybe not. It's not at the specific hostel itself. It could be something that's happened there. Who knows?
What's up? If Matt, if you can argue it, and this is the question, and we give it to you.
That's right. That's right. But I actually am kind of intrigued to explore some bad experiences. We've got the door blockage and the shit pooper.
The stolen iPod.
iPod, that's always bad. I can remember this one time I was in LA, first night in LA, jet lagged as all get out, and rocked up in the hostel, got to my room. Now I understand that in a hostel, you're taking that risk where you're like, okay, you know what? It's fine. I understand that there's going to be other people sharing the room and it's not always going to be quiet, That's fine. You understand that. However, there were these Spanish gents rocking up. I'm not joking, at 3:30 every morning, turning the lights on, making a ruckus, banging, clanging, all that kind of stuff, talking at the top of their voice. And at one stage, I went to them, guys, come on. It is early in the morning. People got to sleep. And they were like, oh, sorry. Went to bed. And then literally at 6 o'clock, they were up and doing stuff. So not only did they wake us up at 3:30, they woke us up at 6 o'clock 3 hours later.
Oh my God.
I tell you, it's the power of the siesta.
They interrupted your sleep and made you feel bad about your own like living habits as well. They were like, oh God, they've kept me awake and they've got to go get him. They've got to go get him, which makes me feel inferior.
I can't even blame it on age because I was like mid-20s at the time. So it's like, no, it's not even that.
Yeah. How old were they?
Oh, they would have been like 21, 22, early 20s.
Youth.
Yeah, youth. The ute. Oh, the ute of today.
I was in a dorm once where there was a big dorm and there was someone who was afraid of snoring.
Afraid of snoring?
Had a phobia of snoring.
She is, or he has made a terrible decision.
Let's just remember. I think it was like we're doing some bus trip through New Zealand and she was just going around. She's just letting you know, I have a phobia of snoring. I'm like,
wow.
Uh-oh.
Did she think the snore's going to get her or something like that? Like
maybe, but like I just remember being woken up at night going for snoring. I'm like, sorry.
No, it's a terrible idea. If you're afraid of snoring, definitely the worst place to be because I mean, the biggest dorm I ever had was in Amsterdam. I think it was called the Flying Pig Hostel or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And it was a 36-bed dorm.
Yeah.
36
beds.
My goodness.
Holy moly.
But the good thing was, Amsterdam, I slept very well. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Was it full?
Yeah, chockers.
Absolutely. How many showers?
That part I don't remember.
Okay, big communal area.
Which means enough, probably. Like if you can't remember how many toilets there were, it's probably a good thing. You know, if you've got a 36-bed dorm and there's one shitter, you're like, okay, I remember that. Terrible experience. Don't like it.
Yeah. I realised my phobia, I'm afraid of the person who's afraid of snoring.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know what they'll do to me if I start snoring.
True.
Like, can you imagine, like, if you start snoring, you wake up and they're standing over you with a pillow? I'm like, ah!
I thought you were going to get me. Why?
I've got a phobia about people with a phobia about snoring.
Just give us a little squirt bottle.
I was just adjusting your pillow. Oh, okay.
I have to actually, I'm going to quickly Google what the phobia of snoring is called because I'm interested now. Phobia, because they've all got names. That's the craziest part about it. Phobia of snoring. Here we go. Google, do your thing.
Snuffleupagophobia.
Yeah.
Snuffleupaphobia. All right. No, it's just misophonia. That's pretty boring.
Misophonia.
Misophonia phobia?
No. Rob has phobia, misophonia.
Oh dear.
Oh god. No, but look, I'm a huge fan of Hostel. I'm a huge fan. Even like my whole life, I have been. We hostel on our last trip to Japan. Matt came with Rob and myself and Taryn to Japan recently.
There.
He was there, and we had some hostel experiences. I think one thing that's changed for me though is I don't dorm anymore. I can't dorm. I'll get the because again. Well, I was going to say snoring. I don't think he'll mind us shutting him out, but we travelled with a snorer. He was a big old snorer. Big old snorer. He knows it too. He knows it.
Yeah, we didn't pull our punches with that.
No, we didn't. We didn't. But otherwise, my own room, that's fine because I don't think. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say no one's favorite thing about a hostel is sharing a room with a whole bunch of other bodies. I'm sorry if I ruined your number one pick for best hostel experiences.
Getting the top bunk in a room full of people you don't know. It's the best.
Top bunks in general.
Yeah, top bunks in general, man. No thanks. Get out of my face. I don't want it. But now we're here. We're here, gents. Are we ready to kind of get into this and get into a bit of a rank going?
I personally, I've arrived.
You've arrived.
I've pulled my backpack into the storage room. Put my passport over the table, and I've checked in, and I'm ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll. Matt, have you arrived yet?
I'm here. I'm checked in, but I sort of got the morning flight, not checking to 2, so I'm walking around the town waiting. So
that's true. That's walking around, having a good time. I think I'm ready to go as well. But I think, Rob, we should offer it up to Matt if he wants to go first. Just in case, yours maybe trumps one of ours.
Or you can pick any spot. You can pick 1, 2, or 3, Matt.
I think I'm ready to go first.
I love this confidence. I love it.
I've been thinking about it and because yes, let's do it. Let's bloody do it.
All right. Well, I've got your 5 minutes up on the clock.
I don't know why I'm getting ready to run.
It's probably just it's Pavlovian. It's just like, ready, set, Matt, go.
So we'll begin with New Orleans.
Okay.
I was at a hostel in New Orleans. I was traveling through America about 6 years ago. Up until that point, I was staying at Airbnbs or caught up with a few friends along the way. I'd been through various cities, and I think I'd just sort of done a bit. Like there was like a week in New York where I was like, I love New York, but I was getting bored because I was sort of staying by myself.
Sure.
And then did Nashville, did Memphis. Same thing. I was in these Airbnbs, which had no one in them, was really weird.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, hostel. I thought, I'm too old. I'm too old for hostels. But no, I'm not.
How old were you at the time?
Younger than I am now.
Okay, fair enough.
31, I think.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah.
I don't know why I got that in my head. But anyway, so I just sort of booked this hostel in New Orleans, pulled up, and checked in and got in the afternoon. Immediately, they're like, we're having drinks. Like $10 all you can drink. I'm like, shit, yeah.
$10 all you can drink.
Yeah, they just had some kind of beer or something. But yeah, and then you're out the back, you're just meeting people, having a chat with everyone. I met a bunch of Australians. I met a lot of Australians on that trip.
Oh, they're everywhere.
All legends. Shout out to Adam Coppola. Hope you're doing well.
Is that Francis Ford's cousin?
Oh, maybe. Maybe he's from Adelaide. But yeah, anyway, so it was just sort of like that. And then you get on a streetcar, you go to town, you get up to all sort of silly shenanigans, forge friendships very quickly. The highlight of that trip for me was the second day where it was like, this is outside of the hostel, but I was staying at a hostel in New Orleans. I was going to do the boring thing, check out the World War II museum because I hear it's huge. But the joy of being in a hostel, there was someone else there going, no. There's a second line happening down this way, like whole street parade. Come with me. So a whole bunch of us went down and we found it and we followed it through all these streets. And it was just like, it was a mad experience. And I've never had that much fun in my life.
Wait, was it I got lost there. Was it another entrance to the World War II museum? I got confused.
No. Like, second line, the street parade. So the second line, so you have all the floats and the bands and all of that.
Ah, yeah.
So we just followed that and we just went all over New Orleans. It's saw parts that you probably wouldn't see as a tourist. And then, it was just that. And then later in the night, we saw live performance of Hot 8 brass band who do a whole bunch of covers in that sort of big New Orleans style.
On
It was just what was that?
Was it on Bourbon?
It was near Bourbon, I think. Bourbon. Somewhere. But yeah, I mean, it was a messy weekend, but it was also a great weekend.
Yeah.
And just,
Yep.
I would have probably kicked myself if I'd been like, no, I'll just get an Airbnb in New Orleans and not have all those experiences back to back.
Yeah. New Orleans is a people town. It's a people town. You need to be really, really one with the city for sure.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you brought the party to the World War II museum, and I was like,
I just threw beads everywhere, beads on all the soldier, they kicked me out.
Just sculling beer out of the helmets.
Yeah. It's no, sadly
no. But you just found a great group of friends, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it was just like
Insta friends.
Yeah, it's just that travel experience, and I had that probably with a few other hostels along the way, but just that quick bond. I mean, it's also heartbreaking at the end of the trip when you're like, oh, we'll stay in touch, and you don't. Life happens. We're adults. but just you're there
Only
for
kids
the
stay
common
in touch.
That's it until they become adults. But you're all there for that common purpose, and you're all in that same state of mind where you just want to explore, have a good time. You just sort of throw caution to the wind a little bit. Obviously, not all the way to the wind. Oh, sorry. How much time do I have left?
40 seconds.
40 seconds. All right. Tell the story. There was a second. Sorry, I forgot about this. So Adam, my mate that I made there, he was from Adelaide. We were like drunk, as you are, Bourbon Street.
Sure. Yeah.
And we started talking to these Navy guys. And he was selling to them that we were Australian military. And they're like, you got to come with us. We're going to the Hustler Club, man. And so we go there and we get into the Hustler Club. It's probably the second time ever I've been to a strip bar. And then they talk to the guy at the door because it's a cover charge. And like, no. They're military. They're Australian military. And so me and Adam go in and they're like, thank you for your service. And I was just like,
I love that. So after avoiding disrespecting the military at the War Museum, you then went to disrespect the military anyway.
Maybe that's why I wasn't meant to go to the War Museum. But yeah.
No, I love that. There's more adventure. There's more adventure in the hostel friend group. Now, I want you to sum it up. Your time is done. Well done.
Yeah.
But I want you to sum that up in a sound bite. So when we come to rank, we can just go, Matt's rank is this. What is your rank?
So my rank is the friends you make along the way through hostels.
Friends you make along the way in hostels.
In New Orleans. Zion, baby.
Look, it's a good one. It was definitely very much something in the front runner of my mind to also say as my rank. No, don't be sorry.
This is the thing, going first. This is where how much
Zion, yeah.
Zion.
Well, there's actually
the Pelicans.
So for those that don't know, Matt has a New Orleans Pelicans hat that he wore around Japan, and he doesn't know anything about NBA basketball. So me and Liam do know a little bit, and we were giving him a hard time. And Matt's response was always Zion. I hate to tell him, Matt. Yeah. This by the time this podcast comes out, Zion may be at another team.
Oh no!
Anyway, that's only interesting for two of our listeners. So let's move on to listen to something.
He's trying to get as far away from New Orleans as he possibly can.
Tell me about
NBA
now. Podcasts, so I can learn about players in the Pelicans. So I can be like Smith.
There's probably a Pelicans podcast you can probably just listen to. Just listen to the Pelicans podcast.
Pelicans
podcast.
PP.
No, I like that, Matt. I do like that. It's annoying because it is what I was going to say. But don't be sorry. This is the thing. You go first. You get that advantage. It's a cheeky advantage. Now I've got to think about something else on the fly. It's fine.
People with phobias of snoring.
Snoring. That's my favorite part, actually.
All right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. It's a challenge to try and fall asleep during the snoring. That's my favorite bit.
British gap year students, they're great.
Okay, that's a story there. What's up with that?
Just when I went to New Zealand, there were just so many British gap year students, and I'm like, how did you guys colonize a lot of the world? You are a pain and a plague. Sorry,
that's how they did it.
That's
how they did it.
Yeah.
Look, there are definitely some countries who have really bad reputations. Australians are definitely one of them as well. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Australians just are, tend to be a bit more of a ruckus, bit more of a. How's your father?
Yeah,
I remember there was these two guys in Osaka one time when I was there with my brother, and they literally had come all the way from Australia just to go clubbing. I was like, you can do this at home, bro. You're gonna find just foreigners at the club like yourself. You're not gonna find any culture. But then again, who am I to judge? I'm going to judge Rob, though. Rob.
Yep.
Do you have anything ready to go? Oh, you do?
I do. I
don't like our call. I'm really scared that it's going to get to me and I'm going to have to really think outside the box. But Rob.
It's my turn. I'm ready.
5 minutes.
Uh-oh.
You ready? And then you can start your 5 in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I am going to go specific. So I was going to go, I've actually changed on the fly, right? So I was going to reference, I lived in a hostel for 18 months in Edinburgh.
Oh, yeah.
And I lived in it was the nastiest place. It was a 3-bedroom like flat that was at the back of a hostel because we were all staying there kind of illegally, as in not illegally in the country, but illegally at the hostel. Like it was all unclaimed. And so it was just this wild place full of people from all over the world. And what made it good when I first landed is that there was a distinctive lack of Australians, actually. This is maybe I'm gonna freestyle here, and I don't know if I'm making a coherent point, but I don't care. I'm gonna go for it. So this was a really formative experience for me. Like I just had a lot of really great memories, a lot of lifelong friends, people I still am in touch with today. I met through this hostel, and just had wild adventures. That wasn't the experience I was going to go with. The experience I was going to go with was actually in Hanoi. So I went for a 10-day jaunt in Hanoi because I was living in the region at the time, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. So I got 10 days. Let's just go. So I went out for 10 days, and I took a Monday to Friday off. 9, I guess, if you're being specific. And I went to Hanoi, and I was like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Because Ha Long Bay is obviously where people go. There's the place up in the mountains, which the name of it I can't remember anymore. And I was in Hanoi, just walking around Hanoi, and I was like, this is great. And I'd gone to get a haircut in Hanoi, and I've decided to throw in a cheeky beard trim. Now, the thing about getting a beard trim in Hanoi, I know, but the thing is, a lot of Vietnamese men don't really have much facial hair. So my hair was something that really took them by surprise. And I got somebody shaving my head with a razor who I don't think had ever shaved anyone's face before with a razor, and she was just like really awkwardly like trying to like stab my skin, like she was trying to stab the hair off. She was like piece by piece, like
it would do the job eventually, but eventually.
Anyway, it was a very uncomfortable experience. Eventually, I had to say stop, fine, and I had like half a face of shaved hair. And then on the way, I was walking back with like half a face, but I'm traveling, so I don't care what I look like. So I stop, I get the banh mi, I go back to the hostel. And then I meet Aviva. Now, Aviva was an Israeli documentary producer who was there also for a jaunt for a short period of time without much plans. And she was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. What are you doing? She didn't know either. We both wanted to go to Ha Long Bay, but we didn't. We kind of wanted to avoid the touristy side of Ha Long Bay. So we hit the Lonely Planet Fawn Tree forums, and we found this little, it's called Fawn Tree. There was a forum site that the Lonely Planet used to run where people just jumped on there with like forums. And we were like places near Ha Long Bay, like off the beaten path.
Sure.
And we found all this references to this tiny little island. So like now that I had like a compatriot, me and Aviva jumped on the bus out to the city near Ha Long Bay, which I think is just called Ha Long. Is that right? Going back a bit.
Sure. I have no way to fact check you.
And then you had to go down to this little part of the dock, and you literally had to jump on a boat that was basically like ferrying goods. So there was bags of
sporting goods.
Lots of plastic blocks of icing sugar that they were shopping around. I'm like, is this an island full of like pastry chefs?
Icing sugar and badminton. That's it.
And so no, there was no white powders. It was just like all random bits and pieces.
Good to know.
Toilet paper, whatever, food, sacks, stuff like that. And we just like literally just kind of like was like resting, like Huckleberry Finn resting on this boat on the back of the sacks of food as we just cruised for 4.5 hours through like Ha Long Bay. And like we didn't go into Ha Long Bay. We did eventually get into Ha Long Bay, but this actually went past it and just went all the way up through the coast, which is very similar kind of islands. And we found this island, which was just like, there was nothing. There was really, when I say nothing there, God, what a terrible thing to say, because there was a town there. There was a town, and on the backside of the town was this about a 15-minute motorcycle ride was this hut. Literally just a hut where we stayed for about 5 days. I spent most of my time in the hammock reading some Haruki Murakami, and then we did motorcycle journeys, went to the beach.
You did it. You did a whole 5 minutes without referencing the topic one time. Well done. Well done. You finally did it.
What do you mean?
5 minutes. Where was the hostel part?
That was the shack. The shack. Well, firstly, I met Aviva in the hostel. This is the part that I'm referencing.
Okay.
This is Matt's gone. The people you meet along the way. Mine is the adventures that the hostel opens the door up for you to. The adventures that the hostel takes you to. And I met Aviva in a hostel, and then we ended up staying in a hostel, which was a shack at the back of an island.
Your time's up, bro. Oh, unbelievable. What's he trying to do, Matt? He's trying to take a bit of extra time because you forgot how the rank works.
I really was trying to take extra time there. And I was just getting into the story.
I know you were.
Because I got bogged down with the Edinburgh stuff at the start.
He did. And you know what? I'll take part of the blame there because I thought, you know what? I'm just going to see how long he goes before he...
Yeah, you gave me no heads up. You like literally...
None whatsoever.
You gave me like 5 seconds left. I was like...
I did.
Can I finish the story?
You told the story before.
Have I?
Yeah, like 4 times.
No, I haven't told the story 4 times, Liam. Stop giving me a hard time.
Guys, stop fighting.
I have not told the story 4 times. Anyway, so after this whole week on this island where we there wasn't much going on, we then went for a motorcycle ride and we literally rode over a hill, and over the hill was this resort full of thousands of people. Full of thousands of people, and we had no idea it existed, and it didn't matter.
Was this the one with the hammock on the beach?
Yeah,
you like sat in the hammocks and read books.
Yeah,
while the waves lapped at your feet.
Yes, exactly right.
It does sound flipping lovely though.
It was very lovely. It was very lovely.
I tease you, man. I'm just teasing you. I'm just 3.
Well,
3 now.
That's the second time.
Okay. Do you know who I'm going to ask? I'll ask my mum, who's listened to every single one of these episodes, and she'll be like, second time, man. Second time, back off your mate. I'll be like, sorry, mum.
Thanks,
sorry, mum.
Shout out to Liam's mum for liking all my photos on Instagram.
Oh, dude, that's a whole thing, isn't it? Yeah. Traveling around Japan, there's like a competition between you guys. Every time mum liked a photo, you're like,
Joe Courtney
again. Oh,
there we go.
Joe again. All right. Sorry, Rob. No,
that's okay.
I feel bad. I feel bad.
I stopped that up with the time. I don't know what happened to me. I just once I got going, I started talking about Scotland. I changed my... anyway, I should be...
This is the dangers of the on-the-fly rank, my friend. That's just what it is. Like you have an idea in your head. It changes halfway through. Trust me, I've been there. You know I've been there.
That's true.
Yeah, halfway through, I've just changed my entire answer altogether. So it's fine.
So my actual answer or submission for this episode is incomplete.
Okay. when I do the edit, I'll have the little things pop up, incomplete, and then fades away.
Cut to footage of ducks swimming in a pond.
Hey, look, listen. That is true though. Like meeting people and just going out on adventures. Would you say that's fairly similar to Matt's though?
No, Matt's was meeting people. Mine was the adventure that the people.
Adventure. Okay.
Actually, it was incomplete. I don't think I got it in on the buzzer. So I think I don't think I got it in.
That's all right, mate. That's all right.
But anyway,
it's all right. It's the dangers of the rank. It's how it goes. But now
she'll be right, mate.
She'll be right, mate. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, she'll be right, mate. Yeah.
She'll be right.
That's how I say all Australians talk when I go away and stay in hostels.
That's how I talk when I go away. I'm like,
you change?
How you going? I'm Matt and I'm from Perth.
Bloody earth, eh?
Oh, mate. Woo, up the duff.
You guys get another tinny? Yeah, just like it.
I'll drink us a beer, you mad dog.
Well, do you know what? Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit. That little exchange. I'm gonna start my 5 minutes right about now. Okay, so I know that was a little bit of a joke, kind of, sort of. I mean, we kind of talk a bit different when we go on travels, but I think there's a reason for that. And the reason is, and this is what I feel, is whenever I go to hostels and I get to be surrounded by different people from different walks of life and different cultures, I get a renewed sense of just confidence. And that's my rank. Whenever I go to a hostel, I find that I can completely change, not change who I am, but like bring out the parts of me that I'm maybe too, caught up about it back here, because I'm surrounded by people that I don't know. who I can, you know, I can experiment even. I can try a little bit of something else. I might be like, you know, just might actually go talk to a girl for once in my life. I might do that when I'm away. You know, I don't do that so much here because I get all shy and shit. You know, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But when you go to a hostel, kind of you know, piggybacking what you both were saying is that you meet people who are like-minded travelers, people who want to explore. And, you know, I'll find that I will gravitate towards people a lot more when I'm traveling, because especially in hostels, because you know that you're going to get someone who's a good egg, you know. Sometimes you'll meet people who are a bit annoying, you know, but that's fine. You meet them everywhere. But more often than not, you meet just the best people and you can just be your true and natural self when you're staying at a hostel. Depends on what kind of hostel, of course. Like I remember I stayed at one hostel in Hartford, Connecticut, and it was in an old Victorian house. And there was a curfew. You had to be out of the house at 10 a.m. and you couldn't come back in till 4 p.m. Do you guys know what there is to do in Hartford, Connecticut?
Not a lot, I'm guessing.
Sweet fuck all. The only reason that people were actually at this hostel at the time was because there was a marathon on in Hartford for that day. But they were all really like-minded themselves. So I was over here. I was like 19 at the time. So this was when I hadn't quite learnt the whole game yet. And so they were all like-minded and they were all gelling and talking to each other and, you know, having a great time. Hey, man, where are you from? Oh, I'm from London. Where are you from? I'm from this place. And I was just sitting on the balcony smoking a cigarette and just, you know, reading a magazine. There wasn't even smartphones back then. That's how far back we're going, gents. That's how far back we're going. But I saw something in that. I saw those guys able to kind of find this common ground and then just bond. And I thought that's really cool. As I got older, you know, I go back to hostels and I will just talk to people. Case in point, last time when we were in Japan recently, there was a young fella who was sitting at the table by himself. I just thought, you know what, stuff it. I'm going to go and have a chat with him, which is something I would never do here. Like at here, I'd be like, someone sitting by themselves, I would just, you know, assume that they were busy or doing their own thing and I would just leave them to their own devices. But there, I had a chat with him. He was reading a big old fat lonely planet. You remember Josh, don't you, Rob?
Yeah. It was the last, you were in Seoul, man.
Oh, I was in Seoul. I was like, who the...
Oh, yeah. You'd already gone off. I think it was Josh, wasn't it? I'm almost certain it was Josh. And he was reading, and he was just like from Townsville, of all places. I didn't know that going up to him. He could have been from Sweden for all I knew. And so I'm talking to him and, you know, he's like, oh, first time to Japan, all that kind of stuff. We then made some friends. Rob, you were there too for a little bit. The day after, a couple of other Germans came up. We started talking to them and we made this little group, you know, and I just felt really comfortable because I felt confident being surrounded by, you know, cool people. And that's something that I think that's really special about the hostel experience, really special. And no matter where you go, I mean, even that 36-person dorm, you know, you've all shared experience in some capacity in Amsterdam. Hey, man, did you go check out the red light district? I did, yeah. I got offered free cocaine. Did you take some? No, I didn't. No, because who knows what's in that.
What it is. Yeah.
Who knows what it is. I remember walking the canals with people from the hostel and watching people go into the little doors in the red light district. One of the guys was like, I'm going to go do it. And he ran off. And he was just like, and he came back and he was telling us all about his experiences behind the doors. You know, it's fascinating. You get to, you know, again, we come back to bonding. But I think the reason you get to bond is because you have a different confidence about yourself and about meeting people that you do when you're at home. So that is why, or that's what I think the best hostel experience is. I have 20 seconds. Does anyone have any questions?
So did you run in the marathon in Connecticut in the end?
No. I tell you what, though. I'll just stop the timer now because it's all good. No, I didn't. I tried to go to the library to send an email because there was no computer in the hostel. So I had to go find a library. And as I was walking to the library, I got set upon by what can only be described as a gang of youths. A gang of youths. Yeah, they're across the street and they were yelling at me like, you
Connecticut.
know, like I wasn't meant to be there. Put it that way. I wasn't meant to be there. Oh. So I just turned around and went back to the local Subway, bought myself a 6-inch sub, nibbled on that for a bit to make sure I was safe. Where else can you always safe in a Subway?
Eat
and
fresh.
then I went to Kinko's. Do you guys remember Kinko's?
Always safe in a Subway unless
I don't. I know where you're gonna go. I know where you're going to go. I know where you're going to go.
Sure, Jared's not around. Oh God.
Yeah, that weight loss though, impressive.
No.
But yeah, no, I didn't run the marathon though. I did, however, notice when at that hostel that I pulled the sheets back on my bed, and there was like a little like a wet spot with like hair in it at the under the sheets at the bottom of the bed. Not a good time for a hostel, to be honest with you. Sometimes the cleanliness can be questionable. Questionable.
Yeah.
I think the best hostels are the cleanest ones. Just is how it is.
Shout out to Japan.
Oh, Japan! Look, I don't care if you're 20, 40, or 75. You got to stay yourself at a hostel in Japan. They're flipping amazing.
I almost, no joke, I almost want to go back to Japan just to use the toilets again for a while. Like, just that's what I miss the most. Like, I'm just like, why do you want to live in Japan? Rob? Just the toilets. Like, they're so good.
People don't understand. Like, it's a joke, right? But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's really not.
Those toilets are fucking good, man.
Really good.
Really
like,
good.
What the hell is the rest of the world doing? It's not like it's a new technology. I'm like, God, why is this the only place that these toilets exist? Like, seriously, what the hell are we all doing?
Catch up, world. Come on. Come on. I think what's the best name for a hostel you guys have ever stayed in? That's that. I'm putting you on the spot only because I've got one in my head.
I can't think of any. I can't think of any names off the top of my head.
I was in Prague once, and I stayed at a hostel called the Check-In.
I think that one in New Orleans was called the Auberge.
Oh, the Auberge.
The Auberge.
The Auberge.
Auberge.
The Check-In.
God, yeah, I know.
I know. Good.
And it was a great hostel too. They looked after me. I was really sick that trip because I just come from Amsterdam, so I had a bit of a sore throat. And the guys behind the bar gave me for 20 kronas. I think, what are they using in Prague? I think it's kronas. Am I wrong? Probably wrong. Which is like 35 cents. They gave me like of their version of a hot toddy, which was just like a hot toddy, but instead of whiskey, just had like the most vicious plum whiskey stuff in there, like their own homebrew. But again, you wouldn't get that at the local bar, would you? You wouldn't get that at the local bar.
No one would go that far for you.
In the Czech Republic, you would.
In the Czech Republic, you would.
At a local bar.
They look after you. Look after you.
I'm trying to think of a funny name for a hostel, but I got nothing.
Oh, you just a new one that we're going to start?
Yeah, like if you were to go for a pun, like where would you set it up and what would it be called?
Oh, so you're actually literally thinking of the entire world right now, trying to think of a funny city name that you can turn into a pun for a pub? Sure.
A pub?
Shall we?
Yep.
A pun for a hostel. Okay. I'm going to throw a city name at you, and you are going to come up with a pun name for the hostel. Ready?
On the spot. Okay.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. Vancouver.
Get in the van, Vancouver. So it's not really a hostel one. It's kind of dodgy actually. It's kind of.
It's not really one of those. Oh, Matt, how you feeling, man?
Vancouver.
I'm just trying to think of a pun, and I just can't turn anything in my brain right now.
It's actually the Van Hoover, and it would be really clean because of all the Hoovers.
Sure.
It'd be a vacuum-dedicated hostel.
Beautiful.
with a picture of J. Hoover as well. You'd go for the cleanliness and the history lesson. About who J. Hoover was.
Imagine
even though you're in Canada.
Imagine Today we celebrate people we're glad aren't Canadians. Number one,
that's it.
J. Hoover. He's a bastard.
Just imagine that. Just imagine.
Cross-dressing guy? No. He was the one that started the FBI and was.
He started the FBI. Yeah.
That was J. Hoover.
I think that was something that was something that I don't know whether that was a story, but he was kind of like a power mad dictator, really. Like he just kind of would misuse his authority to manipulate politics and to gain leverage over people, and
that's sneaky.
And that's perfect for the hostel idea too,
because
what you could do then, you just kick people out, make them pay, and then say you can have no room. You just take that take that power.
Exactly.
Just keep it on theme. Keep it on theme. It's good. It's good. All right, lads. Should we do the needful? Should we rank our ranky ranks?
Ranky ranks. What? Because we're sort of. So mine was the friends you make.
Yep.
Rob's was the adventures you have, and what was yours, Liam?
The confidence you have in yourself.
They're all like that.
Well, this is the thing when I am
watching.
When we spun it up, I was thinking to myself, these could all very easily tie in together in some capacity because, like, the hostel experience, like it's all kind of one amalgam of all experiences, really. Mm. But that's not the spirit of the That's Rank podcast, is it? We got to put these things into a gosh darn order. And because
we can rank them. We can do it. We can do it.
I believe in us.
Well, I'm pretty confident I can do mine.
Are you staying in a hostel right now? Is that why you're so confident?
Yeah. Imagine this. Imagine a hostel looking as lush as this. Excuse me.
They've got wheels there for some reason. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, that goes with me everywhere. Take it with me just in case there's a rank to be had. All right. So I rank last, which means I rank first. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna do it, gents. I'm gonna put myself first tonight. I'm sorry, but it's gotta be apologize. It's gotta be done. Number one, I think the confidence you build kind of ticks into the other two things, in my opinion, because you could still go to a place and not be confident in yourself, and then you won't have those experiences that you guys had. If you're out of that comfort zone, you might march down the street with the rest of the crew, or you might be like, guys, that's cool. I'm just going to go back and just chill in the hostel for a while. You don't go to the islands of Hanoi, Halong Bay, or Halong without first being, a bit confident enough to do it outside your comfort zone. You might do that here too. Who's to say? But number one is the confidence. Oh, Matt, what do you?
So I was just pouring a little bit of grape juice.
bit of late night Ribena. Love to see it.
Yeah, it's a little bit of grape juice, Antioxidants.
Number two, I'm going to go the people you met along the way, because that you need the confidence to meet the people to then go and do the experiences. So it kind of makes sense, and it works and it flows in a certain order for me anyway. It's just how it flows. So that's my rank. So 3 Rob, 2 Matt, 1 myself, and that's that.
And that is that. So now it's my turn.
It is.
To rank. And I'm going to buff myself simply because I didn't meet the time.
Oh, you poor bugger. I'm sorry.
So I do feel like that's a little bit of a, I feel like we haven't got to be strict about that. Otherwise, what's the point of having a timer if we're not going to?
I'm pretty sure that's why we brought it in. Because you'd have one person like doing 2 minutes and the other person going like 45 because they're so passionate.
And now it's a question of confidence versus friendship.
Always
very tough one to rank. Very tough one to rank. I must admit, I was tipping in the direction of confidence, and then Liam put me last, and I decided to get, maybe I'm tipping in the other direction.
Yeah, and I made fun of you as well. So I mean,
you did make fun of me. That's true.
That's 2 things working against me.
Fortunately, I'm confident. It's a tough one actually, because I think the friends you make in hostels are pretty amazing. Actually, they are pretty amazing. Some of the best relationships, some of the best friendships I've ever had. And like you say, like you know someone for half a day, and then you're bonded with them because they are your travel buddy. Like you're on the road together. Like you're both vulnerable together, and you kind of need each other to survive. And that's and like the friendships that you actually bond together with. It's a remarkable phenomena, I think, that travel buddy thing. Like it's kind of mind blowing. And like I said, when I was in Edinburgh, like it was a really formative experience, and I've still got friends. Like I still am in regular contact with friends I made from that hostel. And my gosh, I am talking myself out of where I was going to go with this. I'm talking myself around. Actually, and I was literally going to put Liam first, but now I'm actually talking about when I'm thinking about the bonds and the friendships that I've had. I'm like, there is something kind of magical about what happens with a travel buddy.
100%.
This is not to be petty, but I'm going to go Matt. I'm going to go friendship. I'm going to go the friends you make in a hostel, and then I'm going to go confidence, and then I'm going to go incomplete to round it out.
You know, I was actually thinking while you were talking just then, I was just like, well, actually, sometimes the confidence that you get can come from meeting people who bring you out of that shell as well. It's not necessarily a two-way. It is a two-way street. If you get to a hostel and you don't get a good vibe from the people there, then you may not be confident to come out and do stuff. But if you meet some cool people, and make some good friends, then maybe you might be more inclined to be confident. So it makes sense. It makes sense to rank it that way.
It's a chicken or egg scenario, really, though, isn't it? What comes first, confidence or friends?
Well, the egg came about 40 billion years before the chicken, funnily enough.
Oh, wow. Oh, really?
Yeah.
There was also one cocky son of a bitch, that egg. Really full of itself. You know what I'm saying?
I've just realized I'm not actually writing the scores down. That might be handy to actually so he wins.
Yeah, where are we with it? Who's the?
Oh no, I'm not going to tell you the scores where they're at. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
That would be cheating. So what did I do? I did that, and then Rob did this.
Ooh.
Okay, Matt.
Well, I mean,
like,
oi.
Aussie got on. Joe.
I think, as we've all discovered, all of these are like very tightly hand in hand with each other. And I think while you were talking, Liam, I'm like, all right, here's how I'm going to rank it. Then Rob, you were talking, I'm like, no, maybe I'll rank it this way. Because it's situational.
Before you go, Matt, sorry, I've just realized something, Rob.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I've realized something. Going first is a lot of power. Because not only do you get to rank first and take people's ideas, but you also get to hear the other ranks before you then rank again.
It's true. Yeah.
Ooh, Matt,
it's a good spot to be.
I just had to interject just to make sure you were doing the right thing, mate.
It's all right. It's okay. I'll allow it.
The power.
Oh, man. I'm like, I am sort of on the fence. I think it's a very, very tight. But I feel like confidence just edges out for me for the winner. And I'll go into detail, but I'll just list my ranks first. I think confidence, friends, then adventures.
Okay.
And I think, sort of going back to my New Orleans story, I had not hosteled up until that point. Like I'd sort of caught up with friends who I knew from film school or career in the past.
Yeah.
Along the way, sort of small amounts of time, I was sort of just there while they were doing their thing. But I never had that, like, I wasn't like, day in, day out, I just want to hang out with people and see what adventures we're going to go on. It was just sort of craving something new, like which I had experienced way back when I went to New Zealand for the first time, where I was a really shy guy.
Right.
And that was sort of like that first little instance, that first experience for me of coming out of my shell a bit and just kind of being like, I'm not the only Australian in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, definitely confidence, even if it's just that little bit, so that little spark just to get you going to talk to someone you haven't talked to before, was really important for me, and I think really important, I guess, for my development as an adult outside of hostels, because I don't live in a hostel.
That's actually that's a really good point, though. Like it's actually really formative going hostels growing up. 100%.
And I think I think I've noticed this probably most times I've traveled is you are whoever you want to be. Like you've sort of left what you don't want, or what I don't know, what you perceive other people think of you at home, back at home. So you are the key things that you feel about yourself, and you sort of just throw that out to the world. And when you talk to people, and then that's who you are. Yeah. So I think confidence. And now that I've talked about it a lot more, I think confidence is definitely that step one. And I think also it's probably going back to that time in your life and formativeness. you were probably in a hostel at a younger age to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it makes sense, man.
And it feeds amazingly into making friends and then going on some amazing adventures with these friends that you've made. And
and they're legit all the best parts of hosteling too. Like all three of them, they are the best parts.
Golden Triangle.
Many people, the Golden Triangle. That's right.
Golden Triangle.
The Golden Triangle.
If we were animals, the hostel floor would be full of old shells that people would have discarded because they would.
Oh, I can't believe you
lizard skin.
I can't believe you wasted your final thought. That would have been perfect for the final.
But it's true though. Like it is. I think a lot of people shed their skin. A lot of people learn about themselves. It's a very formative experience just to be thrust into the throngs of humanity.
Yeah,
in a room where you've literally given up privacy and you're thrown into a hostel alone, and you need to bond with people, and you need to do it quickly to survive and entertain yourself.
Yeah.
Which is almost more important than surviving. But
you also touched on a good point though. Like yourself, like sometimes when you travel in groups, like we found out, you don't get approached by others. It was only when I was outside in the leisure area, let's call it the leisure area, the smoking area. I was in the smoking area and I was talking to people out there.
I'm glad you clarified that up because the leisure area could,
That's why I thought actually smoking sounded better. Also, great place to meet people, but I was by myself. I was out there alone, and I'd be talking to people who are, also chimneys when they travel. We all do it. We all tuck in sometimes.
Sorry, Mum. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure she knows.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure I told her.
What you talking about, Mum?
But when you're more vulnerable, right? When you're vulnerable, you're more able to be more open. You're open to be met. But all right, lads. Good app. Very good episode. App. We have to wrap this bad boy up, though. So,
wrap it.
3, 2, 1. Let's get it done. Let's go around the horn. Number 3, Rob.
Incomplete. No, adventures. The adventures that you have. The adventures that are opened up to you through the people that you meet at the hostel with your confidence.
Correct. Number one. He's done all of them. Number 2, Matt.
Do I just list mine, or do I just do that my whole ranks? The old.
Just do your 5 minutes. Go.
Your 5 minutes starts
again. Just one time in New Orleans, I was hanging out with Zion and we're practicing with the Pelicans.
No, just what your rank was.
Oh, my rank. So it's like the confidence that leads you to making friends, amazing friends.
No, just yours. What was yours?
Oh, well, mine was just making friends.
That's
friends
it.
You make.
And
there we go.
And then number 1 was confidence. It's all right, Matt. It's all right. We appreciate you being here and just chucking yourself in. Yeah. It's your first day. Yeah.
It's my first day.
You chuck yourself into the rank. It's a pretty intimidating place to be sometimes, my friend. Don't even worry about it. You did very well.
We didn't have a very good orientation e-learning package either, to be honest.
Oh, that's all right. It did have the multiple page document, next of kin medical questionnaire, all of that stuff, food allergies.
Yeah. You didn't pass the security test though, so I'm not too sure if this is going to come out, but that's fine.
Yeah. I wouldn't normally recommend drinking grape juice on your first day either, to be honest.
I had a big dinner.
Do that at all your jobs, man?
I work in the film industry. No, I'm a sober person at work. I'm a very good boy.
That's good.
If I'm naughty, I'll have 2 coffees in a day.
Oh, you got to calm down, sir. You got to calm down.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm tired, but
Well, everybody, share your hostel stories, your best hostel stories, the best things about being in a hostel. Let us know if we got it right, if we got it wrong. Like, share, subscribe, give us a 5-star, give us a thumbs up, all the fun stuff that everywhere else tells you to do. All the audio archives on Spotify, on where else are they? Amazon probably, iTunes, they're everywhere. Hit us up and let us know your thoughts. Any final thoughts? Should we throw it to Matt, see if Matt's got a final thought, Rob?
I might have a format, little one. May I try?
There is no length on a final thought.
Just speaking on friendships and travel friendships, and just like reflecting on life in general. I feel because in travel, like you make these amazing friends and you have these amazing exchanges with people, and I don't think you should ever beat yourself up or regret that it didn't last longer. I think take solace in the fact that you made such a true friendship so quickly, and hopefully you remember that for the remainder of your time. Because it's just, it's quantity over quality, and you and these other people are just in this space in each other's lives where they're just open to opportunity and adventure and friendship.
Harness it.
Damn
beautiful. Beautifully said, Matt. Beautifully said.
A true friend can be for a lifetime, a year, a week, a day.
That's it.
And Matt, any final thoughts?
All right. Your 5 minutes starts now.
So this one time. So it's a Manhattan.
We'll see you next time. Bye.